This is not the happily ever after I wanted for my family. Not even close. My wife is trapped inside a negative dimension of fake Disney monsters and my daughter, and I have barely survived. I hardly have the energy to finish this story, but I'll do my best. Maybe along the way I can help others from ever being overcome by whatever this is. Let's start off where we left off then. Alongside an alternate version of myself and my father and a scientist I hardly just met, I was facing an interdimensional threat. A raging green monster was piercing the fabric of our reality and was about to swallow us all whole when Frank waved his hand slowly, the same way that I had seen Stephen Strange do so in many Avengers films. A short second later, and the portal closed and the hulking beast collapsed in front of us, split in two with dark blood pouring out into the carpet. Its eyes went lifeless a moment later and melted into the fibers. I'd been holding my breath, but finally I let go with a sigh of relief. Still, I wasn't too satisfied that I had lost my chance to save Aubrey, especially since I knew that the other me had started a detonation in that faux Death Star. We have to go back. No, we have to do something for all those innocent people that are still trapped there, I insisted. I'm sorry, David. It was necessary to stop this madness from spreading across both our worlds, my mimic father told me. I wanted to believe him, but part of me simply has no energy to do so. For all I know, the three of you planned this from the get-go, simply to take over my life and ruin my family, I spat back. I was tired, I was stressed out, I was angry. I didn't know if this was even true, but I needed to lash out towards something, and right at that moment, they were definitely my enemies. What happened next confirmed it. So you're going to help me find another way to save my daughter? You hear me? I responded with a yell. The trio seemed taken aback, and my other self was just looking distraught at the idea that I refused to accept. That Aubrey might be gone forever. If there's no reason to have a cow, David, I know what it's like to lose a child, he began. I didn't want to listen, though, because that one simple phrase told me everything I needed to know. So you're all pretending, I said with a dry mouth. My hands were clammy. I wanted to scream again, but somehow I maintained my cool. What? Frank said, blankly staring at me. I raised my blaster towards the mimic me. Show me where Aubrey is. Now, I demanded. The trio held up their hands, defensively at first, and then they all rushed towards me in a flurry of yellow. It was like they were moving at super speeds. My alternate grabbed me and tackled me to the ground, tumbling towards the Rancor corpse. I quickly held the blaster towards his neck without hesitation, and I pulled the trigger. His skull blasted apart, spilling out blood and dark slime onto my face. As I pushed him off of me and pointed my weapon towards the other feral people, their cover blown, my faux father and the scientist looked ready to rip me limb from limb. They reminded me of all those Treehouse of Horror episodes that I had been forced to watch as a kid, the ones that made me sick. You don't understand how much we have fought to be free of the curse of this madness. They kept us locked away, trying to protect this world. How was that fair? How could we ever be happy to raise children in a dark galaxy like that? My mimic father asked. He was slowly getting closer. I shook my head, tired of all the lies. All they cared about was saving their own hide. Had they ever intended to help me? I took a step back, and I felt the dead creature grapple my leg, preparing to strike, and instinctively I fired another bolt from the blaster. It triggered Frank's equipment to reactivate, and behind me, the portal shimmered and opened again, this time sending a wave of flames towards us as the explosion from that faux Death Star threatened to engulf us all. I dropped to the floor, wincing in pain as the inferno scorched my back and pushed over toward the two remaining mimics. Both of them shrieked like mindless ghouls as the blaze took apart their bodies, revealing to me a sickly yellow zombie under the false skin that they had been wearing. It reminded me of how The Simpsons looked, you know? They had those parodies of the Pirates of the Caribbean, and they were still actively trying to hurt me, and without any more hesitation, I aimed straight for their heads and fired. The headless corpses didn't stop, though. Something inside them was still treating them like puppets. But soon as their bodies were consumed by the explosions, it was over. Nothing remained in the room save for the gateway itself and the lifeless corpses. And then I knew what I had to do next. I had to go back. Go back and find Aubrey. I got my finger on the trigger of the blaster and went inside the portal, maneuvering through the destruction of the fake Death Star. The mimics of all the Disney stars were here, all of them, trying desperately to keep their fortress from collapsing. It almost seemed too easy that we had defeated them. "Dad?" I heard a voice say from the beyond. Though experiencing the worst pain of my life, when I heard that little girl crying out for help, I forgot all else. I looked around the bend and I stumbled. I stumbled toward her and helped her into my arms. "Thank goodness you're okay." I brushed her hair repeatedly, trying to treasure that moment. Behind us, the dangerous creatures from every sort of faux Disney were paying attention to our embrace. I felt almost sorry for them. I knew they were trying to get a better life, to evade the inevitable. "Together. We want. Together," they begged. But I couldn't risk more danger to myself or to my daughter. I moved slowly towards the portal, thinking that I could just escape again. "You're going nowhere," a robotic voice said. I'm a short, hairless raccoon. He was snarling at me with prosthetic teeth. He stood in front of the portal, and behind him I saw the other Ravagers approach. "My father said you wanted to be free from the curse of this place," I said, holding Aubrey close to me. I had no idea what they were capable of. "We do. Which is why we intended to take everything from your world and lock it here," a faux Minnie Mouse said. Half of her face burnt off and the other half covered in insects. I nearly puked. "There's one final thing they didn't tell you. This entire exchange of reality is necessary to maintain balance. Their energy sources exist because of your dimension. We can't survive without one another." Pete's look-alike told me. I knew that he was being sincere, but that didn't make it any less frightening. So the virus has to exist. And Walt Disney trapped it here with this film. Now you want to reverse the process. It won't work, I said. I didn't even believe my own words. The other assembly of Disney hacks laughed like it was some kind of hive mind. The stream is our gateway into the hearts and minds of every person in your reality. Eventually, all of them will be subdued, the mouse said. It was horrifying to consider what they were going to accomplish. This had to end. And I only knew of one way. I used the last of the blaster fire to destroy Hank's tech and rush through the portal that the raccoon had been guarding. Aubrey clutched my arms and held me close, crying softly as we stood there. At last, this nightmare could be finally over. Since the incidents occurred, I haven't heard any references of this Disney Minus streaming service anywhere. I've been keeping my ears and my eyes open across the web, though, not only to spread the warnings, but hoping that someone might be able to figure out a way to cross. But this is because of what Aubrey told me about the place where she had been trapped. See, Dad is there. He's on a ship sailing towards the edge of the world. Aunt Mel is too. They need our help, she would tell me repeatedly. In her endless sleep, she would fearfully fight off invisible pirates. I didn't know much. I knew that nothing could be the same until I'd rescued Jennifer and Mel. I put an end to that dangerous alternative dimension. I got a hit on this post not too long back from another user who said they'd found the Disney Minus on the dark web. I think this might be the chance I had been waiting for. I'm going to take it. I have to end this once and for all. I've offered a close friend to let Aubrey sleep over so I could go and speak to this stranger and see if they knew about the dangerous shadow world. I know there's a chance I might not make it back. I might not even get to cross over and find my wife or my best friend. But Aubrey and the other children, the ones tormented by these fake monsters, they need me. I can't back out now. There's no going back from something this big. Disney destroyed my dreams. So this time, I'm returning the favor. Hey there kids, and happy holidays. It's me, MrCreepyPasta, and I just wanted to tell you guys thank you for watching tonight's video. If you enjoy watching videos here on YouTube, then you should check out the MrCreepyPasta Storytime podcast, which is available on Spotify, and on iTunes, and on Google Play, and everywhere like that. If you enjoy listening to MrCreepyPasta's Storytime podcast, you'll enjoy watching it on YouTube, because it's the same show. You guys are both hearing the exact same thing at the exact same time. Also, thank you guys for supporting me on Patreon or on Popbase. You guys who are the top supporters on Patreon especially, thank you so much. Like Joey Gilbert, Jordan Alexander Sanchez, Wayne Milstead, Chambinski, Ken Lando Higuchi, Brianna Van Tine-Janzen, Stephen Van Huss, Tristan Pelton, G Weevil 3, Diana Kraus, Asia, the Red Oak Shield Virus, Sandy Barney, Nico Kyle, Caleb Dougal, Daniel Paulson, Dante Rao, Last Blade Song, The Ginger Bros, Don Mulemeister, Eliminator 86, Nubsky, Finley E. Hopkins, Steampunk Sinner, Rafael Rodriguez, Optimistic Avocado, and Dr. Strawberry. Everyone there, as well as in the description down below. Thank you guys so much. If you'd like to also follow me on Popbase, where you can get a couple of different updates here and there and play games along with me, then you can do so on your phone. It's on Android and on Apple. And if you guys are looking for something like a hot beverage, such as, say, a tea, for the cold winter months, then my wife is still selling teas over at etsy.com/shop/ivorymonocle tea, including a MrCreepyPasta tea that has me on it, dabbing. Don't actually, if you do order that tea, request that sticker, because we made it, but she didn't want me to put it on the tea because she said it wasn't professional. I think it's whatever. Check back throughout the entirety of the holiday season for more horror stories every single day. Forever. Sweet dreams, kids.